It's happening! Tesla and Microsoft's partnership will make Tesla unstoppable. Today we'll talk about the partnerships between Microsoft and Tesla news. But over what? Let's find out. Conversations on how travel management businesses make a profit are one of the topics that just won't go away. The transaction charge is once again under scrutiny, and travel managers at companies such as Tesla and Microsoft have repeated their requests for reform. After worries arose about how corporate-level travel agencies would survive a longer travel ban, Skift highlighted the subject of why it is time to reinvent the corporate travel agency model during April's peak lockout. Traditionally, an agency will charge a transaction fee to a company customer who is booking a business trip. They are paying for the booking of the journey, but they are also paying for all of the additional services supplied by the travel agency, such as traveler tracking, data reporting, and so on. There is still no money if the reservations are not made. The president of the Association of Swiss Travel Management, Dominic Short, told Skift at the time that it's going to have to be a heated topic going forward. And 4 months later, sure, it still is a hot issue owing to the reappearance of the epidemic, which has forced most business visits to be postponed. Many agency organizations, as well as a large number of other travel sector companies, have been forced to make layoffs in recent weeks as furlough funding comes to an end, with operations employees being particularly hit hard. Are we at your discretion? The lack of anyone with a pandemic backup plan caught me by surprise. Tesla's worldwide head of travel and meetings, Steve Sito, said, "While this is not the first epidemic, it's the worst one we have seen so far. The agencies are learning how to pivot swiftly and make course corrections. This should have been resolved by now, if not sooner. We're debating different pricing strategies and making sure that the agency doesn't go out of business," says the director. While speaking at the recent ITMC virtual event hosted by Win Global Travel Network and Hickory Global Partners, Sito stated that the present transaction fee system was not sustainable. His Microsoft counterpart agreed with him. "Something has to change," said Eric Bailey, Worldwide Director of Travel, Venue Source and Payment at the Microsoft Corporation. Additionally, he stated that while the transaction fee wasn't working for the agency during a downturn, the subscription model, in which a travel agency is paid on an ongoing basis regardless of the number of bookings, would not make sense for Microsoft. Subscriptions are an example of a model that, at least for the time being, is beneficial to the travel management firm but not so beneficial to the corporation, says Bailey. The aim of travel, as well as service definitions, some suggest, must be taken into consideration while developing new models. Microsoft's Bailey suggested that the sector may take inspiration from the cloud model, such as his company's own computing service Azure platform for its own computing services. Consumption usage and success are all important factors. He said, "You don't have to pay if you don't get the results. The value we provide does not consist in simply putting passengers on aircraft and into hotels. We're under no obligation to do so. We need to consider the overall worth of the vacation. A video conferencing session, for example, would be taken more seriously now if the final results were the same, such as an employee presenting a speech at a conference. Travel will be viewed in a different light. It's all about productivity, connectivity, and getting things done. If you don't take a look at that, you'll end up back where you started," he continued. Additionally, Tesla's Sito questioned why hotels' pricing strategies have developed from static to chain-wide and then to dynamic pricing, while travel agents have remained where they are. "In terms of the price model, I'm not sure if it's due to pressure from the large agencies that everyone is following. Alternatively, if it is motivated by commissions, Sito believes that something must alter in order for the travel management company to continue to exist." Paul Tilstone, managing partner at consultancy Festive Road, served as the event moderator and shared a story about how one agency was considering abandoning the concept of owning the transaction because its job was actually to take the data feed and support the traveler regardless of where they booked their trip. Bailey went on to say that the most valuable service a government agency can do is on-the-ground assistance. A presence on the ground in China, Japan, or India provides a significant amount of value. It's not just about collecting data, it's about having someone assist you in interpreting the data, he explained. According to Tesla's Sito, he appreciated the agency's ability to improve the Concur booking and expenditure platform for his company, for example, because it was expertise he did not have in-house. Tilstone questioned whether the notion of good service should be based on the opinions of travelers. Is it possible for an agency to get compensated based on how satisfied its personnel are while on the road? The future is individualized. According to one analyst, the future debate may need to center around corporate culture because the current broad brush approach isn't working very well. In terms of assessing traveler happiness, forward-thinking corporations such as Microsoft and Tesla, according to Dan Rain, creator of Unlocked Data, might do so. If, on the other hand, you're dealing with government travel, the procurement folks don't care about the traveler's experience, said the author. They have been removed from them, he continued. After 16 years in the travel agency industry, Rain spent the last 2 years as Director of Strategy and Development at American Express Global Business Travel before launching his own travel consultancy in April of this year. He stated that 20 years ago, the typical revenue from a booking was from $30 to $50 per booking. The cost has been reduced to $10 per transaction as a result of the internet booking and a more competitive pricing environment. Over time, the revenue model has evolved with a larger emphasis placed on supplier revenues at the expense of consumer revenues, says the author. If the aviation sector is struggling, they are not going to be in a position to write the large checks to the government agencies that they have in the past, Rain explained. This drop in supplier commissions may be the final straw that forces agencies to reassess their business models and business practices. As the meetings industry looks to be a hybrid model which combines real and virtual events, agencies should consider combining their business models as well. Microsoft's Bailey predicts that in the future, agencies would charge different rates for different accounts. Stillstone of Festive Road also suggested that agencies may implement a business uncommon price structure on top of the existing business as usual price structure. The charge for increased activity for 3 or 4 weeks could be swallowed by corporations who would then see the fee decrease, he explained. It's like turning on a generator when the electricity goes out. In order to improve service, it is also necessary to adopt a new perspective on technology. In the olden days, service meant picking up the phone and talking to people, Rain said. However, that will always be out of reach for most people. The answer lies in technological advancement. Putting additional information in the hands of the traveler, explaining why they're being requested to do various things and what their options might be, is an important part of the service mission. It is not a question of how quickly the agency can answer the telephone. A chance exists for change and the agency will appear different as a result. The dialogue isn't over, but it needs to come to a close as quickly as possible. That was all from this video. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content.